Good afternoon, dear students. You often knows that even last year also you learned the chapter resources in detail, and there we studied the significance of human resources also. So after that we came to know that people also important resources. People also important resources in a different way. See, here we are going to learn about how the people that are considered as resources is an effort to explain population as an asset for the country rather than a liability. So many times we may think, we may thought, if the population, that too, the increasing population day by day, and in order to meet their requires and needs, that may become burden for the country's economic development. But of course, that is true. If we are not get utilized the available the human resources in a proper way, there is no doubt so they may become burden for the country, especially in the economic growth of the country. We can't achieve that. So population, there must be an asset for the economy. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ಸಂಪತ್ತಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, ಆರ್ಥಿಕತೆಯ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲವಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. Population becomes human capital when there is investment made in the form of. So the of course, dear students, there is a lot of investments required in a different form. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆಗೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. For example, in your family, just an example, in XYZ family, there are 10 members. Of course, they are asset. They are an asset of that respective XYZ family. But if the none of the person not involved in any kind of activity, then the members or the people of that respective family, they have become burden also. ಅಥವಾ ಒಬ್ರು ಅಥವಾ ಇಬ್ರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಉಳಿದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಂಡು ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಟೂ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಂತೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನನ ಹಾಗೆ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಹೋಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್, ಟು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ದಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೇ. So then only we can consider those people as resources of the country or human resources. See, population becomes human capital when there is investment. When there is investment made in the form of ಯಾವ ತರ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಮಕ್ಕಳ, especially in the form of education. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಸ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್, ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕೇರ್. ಬರೀ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಸಾಕ? ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್. We needs to be trained them, whether agricultural activity, whether manufacturing activity, whether service provider sector. So, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Then you have to take care along. This is very much important. That is about medical care. Medical care. It's enough. See, it is too basic makla to convert people as resources. So we needs to investment. We needs to be invested. ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹಣ ತಂದು ಸುರಿದ್ರೂ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. We should provide education. The investment should be in the form of education and training, and it's including medical care also. In fact, human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. Of course, human capital is the stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. ಬಟ್ ಹಂಗಂತೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೊರತರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ದೆಮ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ವೇ. We should take a lot of care about their health. So medical care is so much important. See, people as a resource is a way of referring to a country's working people in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. ಸೊ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದ ಜನತೆಯನ್ನ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ರೆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವರ್ಗ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕುಳಿತುಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಸಂಜೆ ತನಕ ಹರಟೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಥವಾ ಹಳ್ಳಿಕಟ್ಟೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಟೈಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು, ಸೊ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್? So if we want to consider them as a resource means, so it is actually we required working people. Understood? So in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. See, looking at the population from this productive aspect, getting now. So looking at the population from the productive aspect, that emphasizes its ability to contribute to the creation of what we call GNP. GNP. GNP that is gross national product. Gross national product. Getting now? So, looking at the population from this productive aspect, emphasizes its ability to contribute to especially the creation of the gross national product or GDP. Like other resources, population also is a resource, a human resource. Understood now? So, like other resources, population also is a resource. That's what we call as human resource. Human resource. So dear students, this is the positive side of a large population that is often overlooked when we look only at the negative side. Understood? Human resource. This is the positive side of a large population that is often overlooked when we look only at the negative side, considering only the problems of providing the population with the food, education and access to health facilities. ಇದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀಬಹುದು. ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ವೇನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್? ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಫುಡ್, education and access to health facilities. Getting now? So the growing population or a large population of the country, if we look at the negative side, That is considering only the problems of providing the population with food, education, and access to health. Not only the food, education, even there are so many problems like providing shelters, providing basic needs, not only the education or not only the health facilities, even the other requires also. So when the existing human resources is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it human capital formation. Getting these students, we call it as human human capital formation. We call it as human capital formation. When we can call it as human capital formation? If suppose when the existing human resource is if the developed by becoming more educated and healthy, getting now. So by becoming more educated and healthy, then only we call it as human capital formation that adds to the productive power of the country, just like physical capital formation. Understood now? So, when the existing human resource is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it human capital formation that adds to the productive power of the country, just like physical capital formation. See, dear students, investment in human capital that through education, medical care, and training that yields a return just like investment in physical capital. If we invest on this, then only we can get a return. Without investment, we cannot get a return also. So investment in human capital through education, through training, through medical care that yields a return just like investment in the physical capital. So this can be seen directly in the form of higher incomes earned because of higher productivity of the more educated or the better trained persons as well as the higher productivity of healthier people. Getting these students. Just I would like to tell about one thing what we are just I mean the previous chapter that is about the green revolution. See, India's green revolution is a dramatic example of how the input of greater knowledge in the form of improved production technologies can scarce land resources. India's IT revolution is a striking instance of how the importance of human capital has come to acquire a higher position than that of material, plant, and machine. That already we know that. The green revolution and then the IT revolution. See, not only to do the more educated and healthier people gain through higher incomes. So then don't think, sir, if we provide higher education or if we invest in education or if we train and if they become well educated or if we are going to take a lot of care, if we are provide the medical care, whether these healthier people gain through higher incomes. Society also gains in other indirect ways. Other indirect ways. Society also gains in other indirect ways because the advantages of a more educated or a healthier population spreads to those also who themselves were not directly educated or given health care. In fact, human capital is in one way superior to other resources like land and physical capital. Getting dear students. So human capital is in one way superior to other resources such as land, physical capital, and so on and so forth. See, human resources can make use of land. Who are going to use the land? Who are going to use the land? So, human beings. Human resources can make use of land and capital. Of course, land is there. A large capital is there. Who is going to get utilized? How can we invest? How can we use the land itself, the capital itself? No, it requires human interference. Understood now? So that's what, dear students. So human capital is in one way superior to other resources like land and physical capital. Human resources can make use of land and capital. Land and capital cannot become useful on its own. What I am going to say now? Land is there, capital is there, everything is there. But whether it is going to be useful on its own, no. The land should be used by someone, especially by human beings or by the people. The capital must be used by the people or someone. Then only we can get, then only those land and capital becomes useful. Otherwise, even so, that is a waste. If there is a large, even the fertile land suitable for agriculture settlement and suitable for industrial settlements, suitable for human settlements, if there is no human interference, so the land or capital cannot become useful on its own. Got it, dear students? So that's what human resources are more important and superior than land and capital. In one way, if we see that. If we see that. See, for many decades in our country, a large population has been considered a liability rather than an asset. ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅದು ವರ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಭಾರತದ ಜನಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು ವರ ಹಾಕಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ ಹಾಕಬೇಕಿತ್ತು. ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಶಾಪ ಆಗಿದೆ. For many decades in India, a large population has been considered a liability rather than an asset. ಅದು ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ಆಗೋದ್ರ ಬದಲು ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. But a large population need not be a liability. It can be turned into a productive asset by investment in human capital. For example, by spending resources on education and health for all, and training of industrial and agricultural workers in the use of modern technology, by use of scientific researches, and so on and so on. Getting to your students. So, a large population need not be a liability. It can be turned into a productive asset. How? By investing in human capital. How can we invest in human capital? Example, by spending resources on education and health for all, training and industrial and agricultural workers in the industrial and agriculture area, and even the use of modern technology, the use of scientific research, and so on and so forth. See, dear students, if we go through like this, then only the people of the country, the population of the country become an asset. Otherwise, it's considered as a liability. And the growing population, especially for poor country, developing countries, it's become burden to achieve economic development, to provide the basic needs. If we fail to convert those people as a resource, If we convert by investing those people as a resource, then there is no doubt they are become an asset of country. Understood, dear students? So here the two cases illustrated how people can try to become a more productive resources. How? In what ways? Getting these students. Ek ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. That's I told now. If we are going to invest on education, just, or if you are going to train, or if you are going to take a lot, or if you are going to provide medical care, that's enough to consider them as resources. No, because they must involved in productive activities. They must contribute. They must contribute. Understood now? If they are not productive, if they are not contributing, if they are not involving, again that is also become waste. Now just we will take a few example. Now there are around 100 doctors or engineers are there. Just you will think, imagine 100 jana doctor, 100 jana engineers idare. So the government provided education freely for those 200 members, those who are doctors and engineers, and even they are provided medical care also. So everything. Now they are trained also. ಈ 100 ಜನ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ, ಅವ್ರು 100+100, ಇವ್ರು 200 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಮನೇಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಸಣ್ಣ ಕೆಲಸನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಉಣ್ಕೋ ತಿನ್ಕೋ ಮಲ್ಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್? ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕೇರ್? ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರ್ಡನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಅವ್ರೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ತೊಡಗಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಗೇನ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಸಹ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Then that we cannot call it as those people are resource people, or those people are human resources. How can we call them? Waste bodies ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So now there are the two example, the cases to understand. So how people can try to become a more productive resource. So one is that story of Sakal, and the another one case that is about the story of Vilas. So about these stories we are going to discuss in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.